Episode 3 of Citizens of St. Lucie is going to be a little bit different than the first couple of episodes. I put some feelers out this week, tried to get a last minute guest to come in before Christmas so we could put this episode out. I'm committed to putting out an episode every Friday. I'm going to try to do it every Friday for the next year. I didn't have a guest for today, and I knew you guys would get tired if I talked more than 2 or 3 minutes just by myself. So today's guest is going to be a little different than the first two. While he's a lifelong friend of mine, he's not a business owner, and he doesn't have anything to promote. And he's got the eyes of a 10-year-old. And so I thought it would be interesting to see his perspective of this area that we live, his experience here so far, and what he'd like to see happen in this area in the future. I hope that my son shares the same passion for St. Lucie County that I do, and that he gets to experience the same cool place, albeit different than when I was growing up, as he grows up. And I hope it remains as special to him in his older life as this place is to me. So today, you're going to get to know Clay. He's my 10-year-old son. He's one of the coolest people I know. And you can put him anywhere, with anybody. And he's going to have a conversation with them on a level you wouldn't expect from a 10-year-old. And I know that every dad says that their kid is smart and great and all the things. And while I think my kid is a lot of those things, I hope you get to experience firsthand how cool he is someday yourself. If you see him around, take some time to talk to him, not as a little kid, but as somebody who you can really converse with. And you'll find an energetic spirit who loves this place and really wants to just make everyone happy. I don't know if this episode is of interest to anyone besides me or, my immediate family, but I thought it'd be cool to share St. Lucie County through a 10-year-old's eyes. Hope you guys had a Merry Christmas. If you want to come on the show and talk to me, it doesn't have to be about your business. We don't have to promote anything. I'm genuinely just interested in talking to the people of our area and knowing what they like about it so much, because man, do I think our area is cool. We've got a couple episodes planned for after Christmas and leading into New Year's. If you want to come in, sit down, talk to me. If a 10-year-old can do it, so can you. Come tell me what is so cool about this place or what you've got going on, because I want to know. Thanks for tuning in. This is Citizens of St. Lucie, Episode 3. Hey, man.
Hey.
What's up?
Nothing.
Not much?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, what I wanted to do today, and I know this is a little bit of a surprise to you. I did not tell you what we were doing. I wanted to talk to a younger citizen of St. Lucie. So this is going to be this week's episode of Citizens in St. Lucie. I tried to find some other people to come on. We've scheduled them for the next few weeks, but I didn't have anybody for today. And I thought that it would be pretty boring for me to come in here and just talk about my experience in St. Lucie County. But I wanted to bring you in. And I think it would be interesting to get your perspective on what your experience here in St. Lucie County has been. So that's really what I want to do today. So I'll set a little bit of the table for you. You're generally not one to hold back words. You normally have plenty to say. We were just in the barber shop, and I think everyone got to hear what Clay had to say today. Had a little bit of something to say to everyone. And for those of you watching, this is my son, Clay. So, something that you cannot say, that your sister can, is that you were not born in St. Lucie County. Rather, you were born in Marion County when your mom and I lived in Ocala. But you don't remember living there. You only ever remember living in St. Lucie County. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've never lived, well, that I know of. I know that I lived in Ocala.
Yeah.
But that I can remember, I don't remember living anywhere else besides St. Lucie County.
Yep.
And
so that's where you're from.
yeah, great place to grow up.
You weren't born here, but you've grown up here, and you're still growing up here. You're only 10. You're recently 10, right? But I thought it'd be cool to talk about some of the things that you've done in St. Lucie County and some of the things that you think maybe St. Lucie County could do better. Adults a lot of times lose sight of what was important to us when we were younger, what we thought it would be cool to have around here. And so I thought it might be cool for you to share that. So let's start with something that you do a lot of in St. Lucie County. You play baseball.
I do.
Right?
Yeah.
And you play baseball in Fort Pierce. Well, you tell us, where do you play baseball?
Fort Pierce, Elks Park. Yeah.
You know anybody else who's ever played baseball at Elks Park?
You.
Okay.
Your dad.
Let's name some famous Elks Park alumni that you know of.
Okay.
So who played at Elks Park that you have heard talked about, or that you've met, or just people that you know played where you played?
Ed Hearn.
Okay, Ed Hearn. He was on the 1986 Mets team. Good buddy of mine, recently here, went fishing with him and his wife Trish. Good name pull. World Series champion, that's a cool little league partner.
You.
Dan Dixon played at Elks Park. I'm neither famous nor was I all that good. Any other names that you remember seeing? Like guys that have come to like opening day, or people that you've heard your granddad talk about, or anybody?
Yeah.
Now, I believe you know Mr. Cooper Osteen, who was on an earlier episode. He played at Elks Park. So that's kind of cool. The first guest and the third guest, both Elks Park alumni.
Coach Billy.
Coach Billy Hicks played at Elks Park.
Yeah.
I believe your Coach Brad and Coach Tyler and Coach Brady, all of those guys that you've played for, have all played at Elks Park, I believe.
Your dad.
Yeah, Poppy. You also go to school in St. Lucie County. Where do you go?
Liberty Baptist Academy.
You go to Liberty Baptist Academy. That's in Fort Pierce. Yeah, you've gone there for how long?
5 or 6 years at this point.
Not 6 or 7? No? I hear that's cool, 6, 7.
It is not
No?
anymore.
Oh, it's over? Yeah. You got to keep me up to speed.
So
tell me
yeah, it's 5.
about your school, right? You've been there for 5 years. What's something that you really love about your school?
All of the teachers and people there are one with God.
Okay.
And they actually care about you.
Yeah, nice. I think a lot of teachers care about their students. Just, your school is very nice. They're able to show that they care about each and every student. It's wonderful. I agree. I think most teachers, though, they care about their students, just as a matter of point of clarification. So you're a young man in St. Lucie County. You're 10 years old. What is something that you wish St. Lucie County had? What is there that you wish we could do here that we can't do?
Man, that's a tough one.
That is a tough one. We have some pretty cool things we can do here.
I wish that McDonald's did not close down every other week.
Dude, all right, let me tell you something. When I was a kid and I was in my McDonald's prime, I'm talking like double quarter pounder, Coke, large fry on the regular, okay? The McDonald's, most of the McDonald's in Fort Pierce were open 24 hours a day.
That's crazy.
You could go to a McDonald's, and also Walmart was open 24 hours a day. Now, I think it's kind of relevant. We're filming this on Christmas Eve. I've had to make big changes in my life because of Walmart's 24-hour policy, largely around Christmas Eve. And let me tell you what I mean. I used to, on Christmas Eve, go to Walmart and do my Christmas shopping when I was in my early 20s, probably. Obviously, I'm not one for planning much in advance. I kind of fly by the seat of my pants. And Christmas Eve would roll around, And they were open 24 hours. So like I'd just go at like 2 a.m. No one else would be in there, get my Christmas shopping done. And dude, maybe you hit McDonald's on the way home at 2:30 in the morning. You're completely done with Christmas shopping, 30 minutes in and out. Walmart, telling you, we got to make a comeback on the 24-hour thing. I don't know how we do that. It's very important. That was great to my Christmas shopping. Luckily, though, your mom does most of my Christmas shopping for me now, and I don't need the 24-hour Walmart. Now, something that, I've done my whole life, but you're just now starting to kind of get into the age where it's interesting to you and you're happy to come along and go with. I do a lot of fishing here in St. Lucie County, right? And I know you tell me all the time we don't go enough. We don't go as much as you would want to. But that's something that's pretty cool about our area, I think. Tell me your experiences fishing, things that you like about it, things that obviously besides wishing that we could go more, but like, what about this area do you think is cool as it relates to like the fishing and the outdoors and like the nature that we have here? Because I think that's something that maybe you would have an interesting take on, and then I'd like to give you some perspective.
I feel like the water is clear more than 60% of the time.
Okay, I don't know if that is a real stat, but it sounds plausible. We have decently clear water, except for today. We were down by the water and it looked like a mud puddle, but
The fish aren't extremely small.
Okay, so we have decent sized fish, especially when you're fishing with a guy like me, right? Maybe you go fishing with a guy like James Maley, you catch little tiny fish. You go fishing with a guy like me, obviously we're catching monsters.
Size of the boat snook.
Size of the boat snook. You got your Tony Versillos out there catching little tiny redfish.
Okay.
But nothing compared to a snook, right?
Nothing compared to the snook.
That's right. What's something that you think St. Lucie County could do to improve people's lives? Like, what do you think that we do wrong here? And it's interesting, like, most of the time kids have the opinions of their parents, but I don't know that you'll have anything from me here. So I'd be interested to know, like, what are we getting wrong? What do you think we could do better here that would improve not just your life, right? But for everyone here, like, what could we do differently from a kid's perspective?
So there is quite a few homeless people in St. Lucie County.
Okay.
Quite a few, actually. I feel like we should plant apple trees at the least. And anybody could just go up to the tree, get food, and eat it.
Right, and it'd be healthy. So that'd be an interesting experiment. Like, could we grow citrus trees? Maybe not apple trees, but like, could we grow citrus trees in various places that were open to the public? That, hey, if you need something to eat, that's an interesting perspective. Maybe it would teach people to grow their own food. That's something that we should probably think about. What else is something we could do to improve life around here?
We could build a few homeless shelters, I feel like.
Yeah, that would be good. We probably need to do that.
And then I think that otherwise it's pretty good here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Tell me some stories about your, like, things you've done here in St. Lucie County. Like, what is something that sticks out in your head that, man, that's what Fort Pierce is about. When I think about Fort Pierce, I think about the time that I did this.
I walked across downtown Fort Pierce.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
So we started about here.
Where are we? People don't know we're in a room.
Orange Avenue.
Okay.
Is that right?
Yeah, we're on Orange Avenue. That's where the office is.
We walked to the Boston House.
Okay.
And took a few pictures there.
Yep. Tell me, what is the Boston House?
Some house that's on Boston Street.
Avenue.
And it's made out of bricks, and it has white paint around the windows and door.
Okay. I think, too, there's some historical context to the Boston House. It is older than, I believe it's more than 100 years old.
It is.
And, we probably have some lines of communication with people in and around the Boston house. We can probably get some details. But it is a really cool place, and it's awesome that we can just take a few steps and go, and see it. And they're turning it into a restaurant and kind of like a little bar area. I think it could be cool. Who are your favorite people in St. Lucie County that you've ever met that you're not related to? That's a good one.
That I've met in St. Lucie County, or do they have to live here?
No, just that you've met here. I mean, you don't know where people live.
I also have to give this man a big shout out.
Okay.
Coach Tyler.
Coach Tyler, big shout out. Yeah, that guy. So let's give some context. Coach Tyler Logsdon, who I actually had a really great chat with this week. He's such a cool guy. Maybe need to have an episode with Coach Tyler.
Do it.
But when you were, you were what, 5 years old or 6?
When we moved here?
No. When you played for Coach Tyler.
I was 5.
Okay, so it was your first season after T-ball.
Yes.
So we're starting to get into some real baseball, and you went to your tryout at Elks Park, right? No, actually, I think you missed your tryout for this. You missed the tryouts because I think we were at your sister's soccer. And Coach Tyler and Coach Charlie, let's not forget Coach Charlie was the coach on that team, right?
We love that guy.
We love that guy. They saw on their tryout sheet the name Clay Dixon. And the last name stuck out to him because Coach Charlie had played for a Coach Dixon, who happens to be your granddad, right, at Lincoln Park Academy. That's where Coach Charlie played for him.
Another great guy.
Another great guy, Poppy, shout out. Coach Dixon also coached at John Carroll for a long time before I went there and ran him out. And then he went to Lincoln Park where he coached Coach Charlie. And Coach Tyler and Coach Charlie were coaching that Little League team, right? And they saw your name on the tryout sheet and they thought, well, if this kid is a Dixon, couldn't hurt to have him on our team. And so they called me, said, hey, we can't wait to have Clay on the team. And that was your first real experience
of baseball.
With baseball. And that season was pretty magical, right? You guys, I think you won all but one game.
Yeah.
And in the championship, right, I believe that you scored the winning run.
I did.
And Coach Tyler obviously still coaches a Little League team. You don't play for him now, but you get to see him quite a bit when we're at the field. And Coach Charlie, and those guys are still such positive influences. Definitely some of probably your favorites. That makes sense. Who else have you got to interact with in and around St. Lucie County that you think is worth a shout out? Who should people be raising their antennas to that 10-year-old kids say, hey, you know what? In St. Lucie County, this is a guy who, or this is a girl who, man, they go above and beyond and they're really helping in the community. You got anybody else who you can think of like that?
I do.
Who is it?
Coach Brady and Coach Brad.
Ah, man, some more baseball coaches.
And Coach Brett. We have to...
Coach Brady, Coach Brad, Coach Brett, the Triple Bs, right?
Yeah.
They were your coaches on RK Davis Construction, which was our baseball team last year. RK Davis Construction, also your great-grandfather. So that was kind of cool. We didn't even plan that. You just ended up on that team.
We thought it was going to be Rotary.
So Brady Borland and Brad Wheeler, right? Those guys are your coaches now, along with me. But no, they do the heavy lifting. And again, we made it to the championship this year, and we won again. Right? Now, you didn't score the winning run in that game.
But I did play a part.
You did. And you had some really cool kids on your team. I think a cool thing about your team this year was that while you were 9, and there was quite a few of your buddies who were 9 on your team, we also had some 12-year-olds on our team. And when I was in Little League, when I was 9, there were some 12-year-olds on my team that I can still remember who... They were so good. We never could beat Mr. Cooper's dad's team at Riverside on Parks Rental. But let's see, we had Mike Wagner was on that team. I'm wondering if his brother Chris was on that team or he just came to practices because he might have been a little older. But the Wagners, let's see, who else was on Parks Rental? I don't know. If you were on Parks Rental or if you remember any of the 12-year-olds that played Little League with us, shout them out. My brain doesn't work as good. This isn't about me, but it's about you. Fast forward and take you 15 years into the future. And you may live here, but you may also live somewhere else. Talk about what you think St. Lucie County is going to look like in 15 years. Because if you took me back 15 years and you said, hey, what's this place going to look like? I would not describe the current landscape that we have today. I would not have guessed that there's this many houses and this many people and that it would take 45 minutes to go what it used to take 10. And, you know, if you had taken me back 15 years and told me that it was going to be this, I would have told you I would hate it. And some days I do hate it. But other days I think it's pretty cool that our area has changed so much and there's a lot of goods that come. So what is your vision for 15 years from now? And maybe you'll be here and maybe you won't. But what do you think this place will be like?
I feel like there's going to be a lot less trees.
You think?
And way more houses. Which, unfortunate, kind of.
Maybe we should start planting some trees.
We have some in our backyard.
We do.
I feel like the neighborhood that we live in right now is going to grow a little bit.
You think?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not only in population, but houses too.
Okay.
And then...
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. What else do you think is going to change about this area? Or what do you hope changes? Like, what would you like to see change?
I would like to see a lot less people in the streets.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Me too. I think it's a big area of improvement that we could have. And having my office down here has really opened my eyes to that. I get to see a lot of their struggles on a daily basis, and it's very sad. And I think there's a lot we can do, and hopefully we can work towards that. Not just 15 years from now, but 15 days from now. I agree. I think that'd be wonderful. What else do you think you'd like to see change or happen here?
So, I want to see 18-hole golf course.
Dude, we have so many golf courses.
In St. Lucie County.
Yes, there's so
Really?
many. I just haven't taken you to a ton of them. We've gone to quite a few, but dude, there's so many. Yeah, no,
Really?
we have a lot of them. And man, you're exposing me. I'm not being a good enough dad. We haven't played enough golf.
You're great.
But thanks. But you've recently started playing golf.
I have.
That's a great transition. Something else that's really cool about our area. Mm-hmm. We have a ton of golf courses. So let's just see, I can name a few off the top of my head, right? We've got Meadow Woods, where you've taken lessons. We've got Indian Hills. We've got Fairwinds. We've got Indian Pines, which is where Uncle Justin lives, right?
Shout out.
Shout out, Uncle Justin. We've got the Saints, the Champions Club at St. James, so that's by our house. There is, on US 1, Gator Trace. There's Gator Trace if you want to go lose some balls. There's Gator Trace. The Saints, Legacy. There's so many, and I'm sure that I missed like a ton. Yeah, there's a million golf courses here. We need to start checking some out. I'm in. Yeah, for sure. All right, so let's keep with this theme, and let's say you are now 25 years old.
Wow.
Okay, and let's say you do live here. What do you think you're gonna do?
So I'm 25.
Yep.
Got out of college like 5 years ago, depending on what I do.
If you finished. Yeah, I wasn't there for that long. I think you'll do much better than me.
I think I might be doing this job.
You think?
Yeah.
You take over my spot?
Yeah.
Man, it's kind of boring teaching people how to retire.
But you love it.
I do love it.
I
I think it's normal. I think a lot of kids want to do what their dad does. You don't really know what even some of the jobs that are available to you out there. And so I'm going to encourage you to continue being inquisitive and talking to people, because it's one of the things I like most about you, right? We were just in the barber shop, and you were sitting on the couch while I was getting my hair cut. And somebody that we knew came in, but not somebody that you talk to all the time.
Yeah.
Right? And you guys had a 15-minute conversation. I was watching in the mirror, and you were going back and forth, and who knows what you were even talking about. But I'd encourage you to start asking people about what they do for a job and get their input, because that was something that when I was approaching 18, I didn't really, and I'm sure people told me, but I wasn't really inquisitive enough to listen maybe. I didn't know what jobs were out there, and I didn't know what was available to me. I didn't know what I could do. And I think probably if I had opened my eyes a little bit more to what those possibilities were, instead of focusing on some other things that I'm sure weren't super important at the time, that it might have changed what I ended up doing, which I'm glad that it didn't. But it's good to know what your options are. So it'll be interesting to see like how this opinion of yours changes over time and like what you actually end up doing here. And if you do end up staying in this area, I hope you have a really positive impact, because you're a super positive kid. And man, I hope that never changes about you. I think positivity is definitely something that we've lost in today's world. You walk down the street and man, people seem so grumpy and sad and depressed sometimes, and I'd really like to see that change. What would you like to add? You got any questions for me about St. Lucie County, or like what I've done here, or anything?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Okay, so did you ever go downtown when you were a kid?
I used to come downtown a lot. Maybe not so much when I was a kid, like your age, but in my teenage years and like early 20s, I spent a lot of time down here. It's changed quite a bit. So like over where Krabby's is, there used to be a place called the Tiki Bar right over here,
yeah.
right? And while everyone talks about like how good the food was at the Tiki Bar, like it was not. It just was a cool place to hang out, have drinks, and like it was super cool on the water. I didn't particularly love the food, but it was a cool place to hang out. And there was a few places here downtown, but I think it's a much cooler scene down here now. There's way more bars and restaurants and just more options. There's not just one place to go. So I spent a lot of time down here, but it looked a lot different when I was younger.
Yeah. I know you were like 75% water.
Me?
Yeah, because you were always on the boat.
Yeah, me and Mr. James Maley fished a lot, and spent a lot of time on the water. Still try to spend as much as I can, just not as much as those days. What else? What else about this area do you not know much about, or would you like to know about? Maybe from someone who's watching our episode.
I would really love to know what it's called to be the person who checks people in at the doctor. I don't know what that's called.
Well, that's something that maybe we can, if you check somebody into the doctor, like what's your official job title? I don't know. Let's let us know in the comments, I guess.
Booker? I don't know.
No, I think there's a few different people who can do that job. But I'm sure someone will let us know what that job is. That's an interesting question.
Yeah, that's always an option for a job.
Clay, I think that you have the potential to be a great citizen of St. Lucie. You already contribute so much. You make people happy when they interact with you. You bring joy to the people that you talk to. You're funny. You're smart. You ask questions. I think that in today's world, being inquisitive and asking questions of people and genuinely wanting to know the answer is something that's a really, really valuable skill. And I envy you. You do a very good job of listening, not so much just talking like I do sometimes.
Try.
So I think we'll wrap up. I don't really have a whole lot else to ask you. I just, I wanted to, I'm committed to putting an episode of this show out every week. And so having a guest on makes it easier. It's not just me talking, although I think I did a lot of the talking in this episode. I should have let you talk more. Man, I really just appreciate you coming in, spending one of your days off of school, hanging out with me, making my silly little show here. But I'm interested to watch how you progress in St. Lucie County and the impact you have here, because I think you're going to do some great things. And I hope you make some friends along the way that are like my friends, that'll be around you for life. And this place is so cool in that regard that, the people who have lived here forever, they do share a sense of community. But the true St. Lucie County people who I know and appreciate, they welcome people into our community, and hope that, we all move forward in the right direction together. So I'm interested to see how you impact this place. I'm hoping that it's going to be great, but we'll just wait and see. You're a cool young man, and I appreciate you coming in. I appreciate you talking to me, and it doesn't hurt that you're my son, but you're a pretty cool guy.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Anything else you want to throw in?
One more person that I need to shout out before the end of this video.
Let's do it.
Griffin Dixon, my best friend of all time.
Your best friend, Griffin Dixon. Yep, he's your guy. That's your number one best friend. Shout out Griffin. And shout out Dough My Goodness, which is Griffin's mom's bread company. If you haven't tried Dough My Goodness's sourdough, you're missing out. I don't want this show to be just about business shout outs. If you have something to come in and talk to me about, and you're a citizen of St. Lucie, come in, because I'd love to talk to you. Buddy, thanks. I appreciate it.